Hi, everybody. This is Jamie, and welcome to Sci-Fi Vision for July 28th for our Institute Investigators Review portion for today. Hi, Karen. I see you're back before your room there for a second.
Yep, I stepped away for a second. Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Whew, I'm good. I made a mad dash from Jersey to Baltimore, and I just got home like 20 minutes ago. I had some, like your GPS tells you 3.5 hours, and then sometimes it's just not going to work out that way. So anyway, I'm home now. Great to be here. I was listening. Who put that music on the countdown? Was that you or AJ who did the countdown?
AJ must have. I haven't touched it.
That's some good creepy music he's got on there.
It is. It's creepy.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you made it back. I know AJ isn't here tonight. But we will be here and do probably not a super long show, I guess. I don't know how much we have to talk about, but we can at least talk about this is episode 5, right? I always say
this was episode 4. This is episode 4.
Sorry, the box. Okay. I have my Word documents marked 5 for some reason. But
it's 4. It's 4 with the box.
Yes, the box. So since people heard if you guys missed it, you can hear our full breakdown on the live stream from last night. But what did you think about it first?
I wanted to come to the live stream, but I fell asleep at like 10 o'clock last night.
It's okay.
A pretty good episode. It was sort of a progress was made and like things were learned, but it was a little bit of pieces moving around the board kind of, right? We're episode 4, exactly halfway through. So we're like right in the middle of it. So we're not going to learn anything huge, but I was glad to see our characters like maybe getting a few clues and stuff starting to happen. And like, it helped me to like maybe work out some theories. I'm sure a lot of people in the chat, it helped us to. I see Jen is with us. I look forward to hearing what Jen, the teacher, has to say, and some other folks are going to be joining us, I'm sure. But I'm looking forward to see like how since I wasn't with you last night, like how theories are evolving and what everybody thought of some of the stuff that went on.
Yeah, I like that. It feels to me like it's moving a bit more because I know some people thought the beginning ones were a bit slower, but I think we're definitely heading towards the back half. There we go. But I think this one a lot happened. I mean, I agree with you. I don't know that we necessarily learned a whole lot, but I feel like the story moved forward, which was a good thing. I also want to mention why we're here. It looks like I'm not sure if it's going to be on the show yet or not, but we are going to get it. Oh, that was it.
Say it again. Sorry, what?
No, with the motorcycle. I stopped. I couldn't figure out what it was.
I even have my window closed. I can't believe you could hear that. Sorry.
Yes, very loudly. That's okay. Anyways, I was going to say we are going to be getting at least one interview for the Institute, but I don't think it's going to be live. I think unfortunately it's going to be a one-on-one, but the second one I'm still trying to schedule, so people to stay tuned to that. I don't like to announce who it is and give more details until we get confirmation, but it seems like the one is definitely going to happen. It's just unfortunately not going to be live, but it's still an interview, so it's all good.
Not everybody's comfortable with the live interview, especially sometimes some actors are very experienced with it. Some actors are kind of newer, and especially when we have young people. I don't know. Jamie has not told me about this, so I'm not keeping anything.
It's a young person. How's that? It's one of the young people.
Sometimes when it's a young person, their agents and families just are more comfortable with them not going live and subjecting them to like the chat. Our chat is very nice, but not all chats are nice.
Right. Yeah, but more info on that as soon as we have it. Thanks, Jen. But probably going to be, I think, 2, but not 100% confirmation. That's why I'm kind of waiting to get that a little more in stone there.
That's cool.
But that'll be a lot of fun. All right, let us start. So at the beginning of the episode, Avery is upset because Luke is thinking about Kalisha and thinking she's dead. And he somehow promises him he's going to quit thinking she's dead, like he can really control what he's thinking. I don't know. I just thought that was kind of funny because I don't think you can really control what you're thinking. I mean, I guess he can try to think positive, but I'm not so sure that he can promise him he's not going to think that. But
Well, it kind of like speaks to, so Avery can't control, it looks like Avery can't control reading people's minds, or maybe, I mean, it's not, maybe it's possible that Avery just doesn't try and doesn't really understand that it's a violation, right? Because he's still a kid and he's still learning to. So I thought, I don't really know. What do you think? Do you think he can't control it, or do you think he just doesn't realize that he should control it?
I don't know. I don't think he's necessarily trying to control it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't think, what I'm saying though is I don't think Luke can control necessarily like not thinking about something. You know what I mean?
Well,
I mean, like, the scope of a show, yes. But generally when you say I'm gonna not think about something, you do the opposite because you can't not think about something.
When someone says don't think about sex, you immediately think about sex, or don't think about elephants. Was that the example? Don't think about elephants, you immediately think about elephants, right?
Yeah. So but he's going to try to think positive is the idea, and try not to think about her being dead. Avery, I thought was kind of the only one that still had a positive outlook somewhat. I mean, he still wants to escape with them, but I guess he's not quite accepted that they're necessarily being killed. But George isn't either. I didn't realize that George was still kind of in that boat as well until later on in the episode. He's like, oh, well, you know, when they're talking about the back half, they're like, well, if they go to recovery and it makes them go home sooner, then it's all good, you know? So
yeah, and that was interesting to me because Avery, okay, I could see how maybe they haven't told it. The bigger kids are protecting him. They're not telling him everything. He hasn't experienced everything. He hasn't gone to the, I don't know if he's even had a shot yet, had shots for dots yet, Avery, right? But what's the other kid's name? The older kid?
Nikki, you mean?
Not Nikki,
George?
not Luke, George. Like, George is just in denial, right?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I think he's old enough to.
Yeah, George is in denial. Avery, like, maybe doesn't really fully understand and hasn't experienced all of it yet. And they're pretending, but George, yeah, I'm like, come on, George. And even the other kids are like, come on, George.
Yeah. And yeah, I do feel like they're kind of protecting Avery, but at the same time, if he can read their thoughts, I'm not sure how much they can protect him, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, for a while at least. Yeah.
Jen says, I don't think he can control it, but also can't control his mouth, Avery. I'm assuming she means Avery as opposed to.
Yeah, because you also, maybe you can't control reading people's minds, but you don't have to repeat everything that you see in someone's mind, and Avery does, right? Oh, he likes her, but she likes him, right? Like he did last week.
Yeah. And I mean, it's cute to a degree, but I can understand if you're them not being, you know, not thinking of it that way, you know?
Yeah, it's an intrusion on people's private thoughts. It's a violation. If, like, he can't control it. He's not doing it intentionally. He's just a kid. He hasn't learned to control it, right? And he's more powerful. Like the other TP, like the other TPs can't really do what he can do.
Yeah, it seems to be. Yeah. And like Nikki said, Fight Club. You don't tell people about Fight Club. Not that he understood that reference, but
yeah.
All right, so that's what that scene is about. And then we get, there's George there, and Nikki. And then we get these twins who
what is it with Stephen King and little twin girls? What is that, right?
It definitely seems to be a reference to The Shining, I would say.
I don't know if it's a reference to The Shining, but it definitely is a motif that King he comes back to certain motifs in his work. Yes, I agree. It's like a reference. It also appears in The Shining, right? And he has to know when he wrote this that we would all be like, "Oh, The Shining," right? Like the two most famous, creepiest twins in history are those two girls in The Shining.
Yes, definitely. I'm trying to look at my other monitor.
Greta and Gerda are their names.
Yeah, I know. But I was seeing, because we were talking about it and saying, are these girls really twins? There definitely seem to be two different people, but I was just curious.
Well, not all identical twins can be not told apart, right? Like they
could even not be sisters for all we know. I just was curious. I was looking, but the only one that is listed, unless I'm spelling Gerda wrong, Oh no, wait, Gerda. It's not Gerda with the T.
Gerda, right?
Yeah,
Gerda.
they both have the same last name, so they probably are sisters, whether they're twins or not. I don't know, but they are two different people. So that's what I was just checking because we had mentioned it last night and I never looked. So, but yeah, I definitely think it's like you said, whether it's meant to be an Easter egg or it's more just that part repeating. At any rate, it's I think it evokes The Shining. And they've had so many posters about The Shine and that I don't know. I think that they're kind of trying to, hey Bill,
Yeah,
trying to
you
put
think
a little bit of an Easter egg.
You think? Wait, what did you just say?
No, I said I do think it's meant to be an Easter egg. Like, I mean, it's also part of the story, obviously, but I think that it's meant to be a joke, an Easter egg, a reference, whatever you want to call it. The twins, I meant.
Oh, I don't think so. I think Stephen King has certain motifs that he returns to in his writing all the time, and twins is one of them. I don't think it's a meant to be like, let's put twins in here like as an Easter egg to people who I mean, I think it's a thing that
Are they in other books though, twins, other than The Shining?
I don't know, because I'm too afraid to read Stephen King's work. So
that's what I'm saying. I thought it was just The Shining, and I mean they have all those posters around about about Shining or whatever.
Well, your time to shine, right?
Yeah, your time to shine
means like your time to really do a good job. Your time to be a hero. Your time to I mean, that's what it means as a sentence.
Yes, but that's obviously
the shine. The shine is a thing. I don't know if those actresses are twins in real life, but they look like not all identical. Like they could be fraternal. They could be fraternal and still be twins, right? They don't have to be identical, and they could be. They could be. Now I'm looking them up.
Yeah, they're definitely. I'm guessing sisters. They have the same last name. Beyond that, I didn't click.
Yeah,
Anna and Maggie McCormick. So I'm assuming that they're probably twins.
But they look enough alike that they're definitely, so they play twins.
Meant to be twins at any rate. Bill says Stephen King probably thinks twins are creepy. They tend to be. I mean, at least on television when they do this. Maybe not in real life, but
yes, I just Googled them. They are twin sisters.
Okay, all right. Jen says Stephen King does use twins in many of his writings, not just The Shining. Okay, all right. I did not know that, but then again, I haven't read.
He probably thinks they're creepy, but it's a motif he goes back to. So yeah, it's a King thing, but I don't like not necessarily all back to The Shining, just a motif in his work.
God.
Oh, look at this, Jen. He loves using twins to show the theme of duality, and this. So that could be like TP and TK, the duality of those two, right?
Yeah, we don't really know what their powers were. I don't think they even asked them until they.
No, the duality of front half and back half. Like, there's a lot of duality in this show.
There is, and I know Scarlett mentioned too, and I said I think we're watching Severance again. How just even that shot though, just with both of them, like how balanced they really did take that picture.
Yeah, even like behind them, the two windows, like you could draw a line down the center of this picture, right?
Yeah,
and they'd be like almost identical. So they show up. So I was kind of amazed that like three kids show up in the same, like almost as soon as they come in, we meet.
It was a little strange that three of them show up all at once. I mean, other than for plot, it was a little.
Yeah. But we've been getting like one every couple of days since we've been watching this show, right? Not even one every day, and now 3 in one morning. I guess the Snatch teams have been working overtime.
Well, now they have that Kate working for them. Maybe she's better at it. Who knows?
Oh yeah.
Let's see. Bill says psychic or evil twin tropes in horror movie shows. They are in a lot. That's
evil twin. Every soap opera that's ever been on television had like the evil twin trope, right?
Yeah. Although usually then they played their twins, but yes. And he also said Sigsbee did say I need more kids. You're not wrong. She did. So I guess
she did. Yeah, she did say that.
Yeah. All right. So then they have this conversation where they're talking about the twins they had before, the Davidsons, I guess.
Who are not that bright. Like they talk about how intelligence they think helps express the
Yeah, they're saying these twins aren't that bright either, but yeah, they're talking about how they thought that they could amp up each other's abilities, and I guess how they used them before on the track for PC, which now they're not doing. So it's not. I mean, the conversation I feel like is kind of a moot point, unless she was just trying to get them to admit what they were doing, maybe with Luke, because she's like, "Oh, this didn't you think that this helped develop PC?" And then he's like, "Yeah, but we haven't been doing that study." And so I don't know. And like, I kind of wonder if maybe she was hoping that they'd say something, because otherwise, why bring it up if we're saying that this might do this, but we're not allowed to work with it? Like, it's kind of, I don't know.
Yeah. So I think you're right. She was trying to like maybe draw them into slipping and saying something.
Yeah.
I mean,
I hadn't thought of until today. I didn't say this last night because I just thought of it.
I mean, the idea of like, so that the twins could amp each other up, the idea of like a psychic connection between twins, or that like twins, like, one twin is injured and the other twin feels the pain, is like a thing you see in TV, or that they have a psychic connection. And it's like true in life that they talk about identical twins, or I don't know, maybe fraternal twins who like speak their own language as babies. Like when they first learn to talk, they speak their own language before they gain English, or that twins who are separated at birth live like, and you hear these stories how they both went to the same college and they both became doctors and they both marry people named Mary or whatever, right? Like these things about twins, like that's,
I think
loaded with all of that,
some kind of connection. I mean, whether it's psychic or not, I don't know. But I mean, some twins do seem to be able to sometimes feel, at least they say they can. I mean, whether they really can or not is, I don't know.
Your twin dies 400 miles away, but you just knew at that moment.
Yeah. Right? And sometimes I wonder if maybe if they do, that maybe it's like a DNA thing, like, because how they're like split, if they're assuming they're identical twins, that they were split from the egg or whatever, that maybe it's because they are sort of the same person. I don't know.
Well, they're genetically identical, yeah.
Yeah, if they're identical, but I don't know.
Maybe someday somebody in our chat owns a twin and we'll be like, yes, that's totally true, or stop bullshitting us, or whatever. But anyway, I do think that Sigsbee would maybe trying to trap these guys, particularly Hendrix. Like Stackhouse, he's a little more wily, but Hendrix, I feel like, is kind of dumb and could be easily tricked.
Yes, I would agree with that.
Not dumb, like, okay, he became.
Yeah, he's a scientist, but he's dumb. Like he's very passive too. Is the other thing. He's always like, "I'm sorry, don't tell on me," type of thing.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm not a twin either, Bill. Thank you.
Nor am I.
Yeah, I was gonna say I know a twin, but I know that one of the twins. I don't know both of them. Actually, I know a couple twins. Actually, I do. I take that back, because I was thinking I know journalists who are twins.
Ooh, look at this theory. Oh, wrong theory. I think Stackhouse has powers. Well, he's death, right? I hadn't thought of that. I think he has powers. Interesting.
Yeah, I think it would make sense if like somebody at this institute had some kind of powers, since they're running it, but yeah, I don't know. I won't tell.
I don't know. Sometimes it's the people who don't have the powers who are the most. If you had powers, would you be okay torturing these people who have powers?
Unless he was tortured growing up there.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Doc, we should be paying Doc. Doc, thank you for always reminding people to like the stream. I can't like it because I'm not in it.
I was gonna say, I don't know why. Okay, that one went through. I was gonna say I know it goes through so many times when I hit something, but it for whatever reason, one of them gave me an error. One of them, I don't know, something's got an error. But yes, thank you. Please like the video and subscribe to Sci-Fi Vision. We always greatly appreciate it. Jen also said Hendrix. Okay, was a pushover. Okay, the way Stackhouse looked at the cameras at the same time Sigsbee was watching.
Like he could be a TP and he knows she's watching. He could also just be like paranoid. Just because you think someone's watching doesn't mean they're not, right?
Yeah, that's true. Talk. How did the date go? Well, considering you didn't say your fiance is the doppelganger, I'm guessing probably not well.
Maybe. This was kind of a weird scene. Like during this scene, Sigsbee is mostly talking to Stackhouse and Hendrix. And if I recall correctly, Stackhouse was like kind of quiet during this whole thing. I was like, why is this guy even in the scene except to look creepy? He really kind of didn't talk. Yeah.
I think that's why he's there a lot of times, to look creepy.
He sure is creepy.
All right. So then we get, let's see, we get Harry.
Harry comes in hot.
Yeah, Harry comes in and he is a big problem, and he starts pushing Avery and swearing at Avery, and he's definitely a bully. And Stackhouse wants to intervene, but Sigsbee says, let's see what they do. Now, the one thing he said, we talked about this last night, but I wanted to ask you, when he said they might get damaged, was such an odd statement. What did that, I don't know, did that do anything for you? Did that make you, to me, that was like so strange, because it does sound like he's not talking about humans, but maybe he doesn't look at them as people.
I think, Jamie, that you're on. He says they might get damaged. He doesn't say they might get hurt. They might hurt each other. They might get in a fight. He says they might get damaged. And it is like, it's almost like talking about a thing, not like a person, right? Mm-hmm. He definitely doesn't think of them as people. It was a weird choice of words, but I think you're right. I think that's why. And like, does anyone really care? Like, they might get damaged. Like Tony, Tony might damage them at any time, right? He hits them all the time, and they're not worried about Tony damaging anyone.
I wonder if it was more just like, foreshadowing what was about to happen, maybe. But
because I don't think he meant like anything about their powers. Now, correct me. I can't, is Nikki a TP or a TK? He's TP, right?
I think it was TP. I think. I don't know that they were.
No, because it was Luke. So he says like, "We're not your problem. I know you're scared." You're like, he says a couple times like, "You're scared," but I don't think you need to be a TP to know that he's scared, and that's what because they all came in the same way. They all came in scared, right?
Right.
And Harry comes in very aggressive, but it like Lucas kind of gives away that he's a TP when he says, "Remember what the coach told you," right? Like. And again, we talked last week about like don't you know there are microphones? You know there are cameras. Don't you know there are microphones everywhere? Like I get that. I guess I jumped ahead. You're still not on that shot yet.
Yeah, no, I was going to say there's not supposed to be in the playground according to Maureen, but he said it in front of them when he made that statement, so it kind of
well, he hadn't been told yet by Maureen, but I would think that they would know by now that there are microphones in there.
Yeah, I agree. So they're going to give them a chance to see what they do. But Harry is, he's not backing down. I like Bill. Harry not wasting any time. He knows the plot's moving.
Yeah. Or Harry came in like, look, they already killed Annie. We don't have time to play around. Let's blow some shit up.
So that looks like a caption for that image. Let's blow some shit up. So he is mean to Avery, and
he shoves him. He shoves the kid aside and curses at like a 7-year-old. What is he, 8 years old? He says, "Fuck you!" right at him.
You're old enough to know better. But Nikki, says that tells him he's going to apologize, and he refuses to. So George trips him with the tray. Nikki holds him down, and they're like, we'll talk to you once you, apologize to Avery. And doesn't till they get outside. He pukes first. But
that scene, I watched it twice the way it played out, where like Nikki won't, Harry's not going to apologize, and he's going to move on Nikki, and George moves in quickly to like George is TK.
I was kind of surprised he just like physically put his tray out instead of.
Well, they all reacted like he knew the exact moment to do it. Nikki, it definitely had like a little bit of like, if not full TP, like being like, Jamie, when I give you the signal, you trip him. But more like these kids haven't known each other long enough to be like in sync that much on a physical activity. I was just like, ooh, like they maybe have a little bit of like, or maybe Luke being a TP was able to be like, oh, we should do this. And they just like do it. I don't know. But they just seem to be so in sync for 3 kids that have known each other a week to like, but it was, it was what needed to happen, and Harry seemed to be subdued at the end of it.
Yeah, he's like, he knows how to take care of bullies, he says. And the thing is, that's funny is Nikki, I feel like at the beginning was a little bit of a bully, like not completely, but a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting that he's the one that protects everybody. I like that. Jen says, I love how they all took care of Harry, but then she also says, like, they're Avengers working together. That's great.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I just watched Thunderbolts last night.
I haven't seen it yet.
A friend had it on digital, so I was able to check it out. Enjoyed it. Because I'm gonna go see Fantastic Four pretty soon.
Me too. We'll cover that on Fandom Access.
We'll have to talk about it. It comes on. Sorry, you got me sidetracked there, Jen.
Sorry.
Speaking of, you know what I realized too? Not that it matters and anybody cares, but I thought it was kind of cool because Marvel's like so huge, and I realized that like with the new Avengers, like I've spoken to 2 Avengers of the new Avengers. You've spoken to one because you were there for the one for Hannah Cameron. What's her name?
Oh, Hannah Cameron. Yeah.
You know who I mean? Bad Ghost. Yeah.
Ghost.
But I didn't realize the one who plays now I can't think of his name, but the one that plays Void, and I can't think of the other half of his name, the good part of him. But anyway, he was in another interview that I did a while ago. So I was like, that's kind of cool. So yeah, you never know who's going to end up in something big, right?
Yep.
Anyway,
all right. Anyway, they get Harry kind of subdued, like to chill, and they're like, look, we're not your problem here, right? Like, we're not the, and he immediately gets called to this is when he comes outside, right? And they're
gonna throw up. Yeah, and this is where they tell him that they're gonna take him, the ones that are in charge, and that I love how Luke says that Sigsbee will answer all of your questions except the ones she won't. That's so helpful.
They say good luck with the queen bitch. That's I guess what they call her. Yeah.
And then he says, remember what Coach Finley said before state? I think he said semis at Montgomery Catholic, I think is what he said.
I think that's what he said, yeah.
But the point is he's, saying something that only Harry would understand what he's saying, and showing that he, maybe making him feel a little more, I don't know. I kind of wonder if that's like saying I'm like you, like maybe this kid is TP. I don't know, or if it was just to make him feel better, or to calm him down. I don't know.
I mean, yes, and it made me think, like, remember how Shaw had said she can only read what's on the top of your mind, and she can't really dig deep. And so was he already thinking, like, trying to be like, oh, don't get mad until it's not, or was he trying to was that in Harry's mind, or did Luke we don't really know. Did Luke how did Luke come up with that? But he does grab this piece of information out of Harry's mind, and then outs himself as a TP to the kids, which, I mean, I think he did the right thing because Harry had to be calmed down, and he was doing it for Harry's own good to remind Harry to not lose his temper. However, like, do you trust all these kids who you barely know, right? Like, Lucas trusts Nikki. He trusts Avery.
Although Avery has a big mouth, but
he has a big mouth. And I began to wonder if you could trust George. By the end of this episode, I'm wondering if George can be trusted. And he doesn't know Nikki at all. So can he trust Nikki at all? Would Nikki be like, what's with that weird kid? It's like he read my mind, right? Like, he might say that to Sigsbee. So it's a calculated risk. I don't think it was the wrong thing to do. And I don't think he really thought about it. But now it's out. And nobody could hear it. Sigsbee couldn't hear it out here, but...
Right. But that's why I wonder, which I hadn't thought of until, talking about it now, is that maybe that kid was TP. So he was kind of saying it like, I'm like you, maybe making him feel a little more.
Oh, maybe Harry's a TP. And
that's the only thing I can think, because you're right. I feel like if you weren't TP, your reaction might be, hey, somebody, well, how do you know that?
Yeah.
Which he didn't say.
So almost like Luke didn't have to pull it too hard because Harry was pushing.
Right, but I just meant maybe he made it, like, said it so he would feel more like he's knowing there was somebody else there that had powers too, because he doesn't know why they took him.
I know. You think you'd be like, listen, we know that you like. Do you make things happen that are weird? So do we. That's why you're here. When when Lucas came in, and the first person we met was Kalisha, she was also vague, but maybe a little more forthcoming.
Yeah.
Look, Harry's been there 5 minutes as far as we can tell. So anyway. But this idea that like when Lucas came in and he was like, oh, they want you to hear from another kid because you'll understand it better and take it better. But they didn't really have time to brief Harry, I guess, before he was called in.
Yeah, they usually start telling them things. But yeah, he flipped out before that ever happened.
Yeah.
So yeah. And Bill, this might be in regards to later, but Miss Sigsbee is starting to show her manipulative skills and why she is a boss. Yeah, she is very manipulative in this.
Well, when she this might be in reference to like when she was
we were saying before,
manipulating Hendrix, or now when she tries to manipulate Lucas in the later part of this shot here.
Yeah. All right. So before we do any more with this, they take him, and then
so Avery's going for his first round of like shots, I think.
Shot for dots, yeah. And to orient, I guess, an orientation type thing, whatever you want to say. He's gonna go talk to her and find out stuff. So so then we go to the precinct where we have Tim saying Annie didn't kill herself, and clearly, and that's the thing too, is Wendy admits that she told their boss, and I don't remember his name, but their chief. I'm just going to call him chief.
Well, she does by the end of this. Yes, she admits it.
Yeah, but she admits at the end that she told him about his connection, hoping that he would realize that he wasn't just like trying to be a big town cop or whatever. But I have to say, if he did believe that, and she said that, it's kind of rude to call somebody batshit crazy if that somebody like maybe had a family member like that. I mean, I know it's made for kind of comic relief.
Wait, his connection? What connection are you?
No, I was saying that Wendy says that basically she told their boss that he felt connected to Annie because of his mother. She didn't go into details, but she said something because she said that, the chief thought he was just kind of trying to show that he's, big cop, knows what he's doing in order to get the autopsy. And she wanted him to know that like he really felt connected to her, whatever, and that there was a reason, and that he wasn't doing it
because of his mother's like mental illness.
And I'm just thinking about it now and knowing that and thinking, and yet he calls Annie batshit crazy. That's kind of rude. Like I said, I mean, it's a TV show. I just thinking about it now. I'm thinking maybe you could be a little more.
But I kind of appreciated parts of this scene because we have been speculating a lot about Annie and like her. Like, is it mental illness? Just because like you believe in Sasquatch and people call you crazy doesn't maybe mean that Sasquatch isn't out there. I know she never talked about Sasquatch, but like we've talked a lot about or her theories about the plane spreading chemicals or whatever. And like, a lot of people believe that stuff. But like I kind of appreciated that in the way the chief is like talking about her like she's crazy, but Tim's like she said whatever, and the chief goes, she also said the world is flat. And I was like, okay, so she has been, she's not just saying cryptic things that might or might not be true. She said the world is flat, and she saw the edge of it when she was out on harvesting mussels on a boat. And I'm like, oh yeah, people see the horizon, they think the world is flat, right? So I appreciated that there was a little clarification there that yes, she does say stuff that is like patently like out there.
Yeah.
And not just cryptic. Not just cryptic.
This is why people don't normally listen to her. But the point I think Tim is making is he's not saying that she doesn't have a problem too. He's just saying, but would she OD? Would she take drugs?
But,
because he's saying she told, according to what she said, she wouldn't drink, she wouldn't take psychotics because they dulled her purpose, mind-altering substances. So he just assumes they're going to have a talk screen. And this is where, I guess, actually, I don't know if
he's me. He's me from last week's chat when I was like, they totally do a talk screen. Everyone in the chat was like, Karen, no way. If you're like a homeless person on the street with no family and it looks like you drank yourself to death, they're not going to do a talk screen. And I'm like, really? And everybody in the chat was like, I don't know where you live, Karen, but not where we live. And probably not where you live either. I live in a city.
I just know from TV they should do a talk.
I live in a city with like 250 murders a year. So why do I think they would do that? I guess I was like wishing.
Yeah.
But it becomes clear that they're not going to run a talk screen. And if they did, it would take weeks anyway to get it back, which is true.
Yeah, I have to wonder though, like now that I'm thinking about what I said though, like that she told him about him feeling connected to her or whatever. I'm kind of wondering why, because they just are now having this talk screen conversation. But regardless of that, but yeah,
well, I think it's the next day. I think she's only been dead like for one night, right? I think it's the next day.
Right. I'm just wondering why she would have had a reason to even have that conversation with their boss about him.
Well, Tim asks, when is the talk screen coming back? And they're all like, what talk screen? We're not doing a talk screen.
Right. But I mean that she already had the conversation. I'm not sure about, but it doesn't matter. But yeah, it's like, it's expensive.
She might have had it like right before. She might have said like, listen, when he comes in here, he's coming in hot. It's because his mother was mentally ill.
Okay.
Right?
I guess
it doesn't have to be like a big, she could have just said it like right before Tim came in the door.
Right. So it didn't have to be specifically about the talk screen.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he's like, expensive, take forever. I don't care if you know, what you like or don't like, we're not doing it. And he's like, I would if I thought it would actually, you know, show anything. But he's like, it won't. So we're not going to do anything. And that's where he says about, you know, the personal with his family history. Now, this is where he tells him that he, you know, to take a night off. He says that he knows what the night shift can do to somebody's mind. And then he says Whitlock thought he saw all kinds of stuff walking the beat. How many times have they referenced this, the other cops or Night Knock or whatever was his name? They have mentioned his name so many times. I keep saying, I seriously wonder if he was like a character in a book or in one of King's books or something, that they keep bringing him up, because otherwise, like, what's the reason to give this character a name that isn't actually in the show because he's dead?
His name is like Ed Wilcox, I think, or something like that.
Ed Whitlock. I just think that it's weird that they keep saying his name like we're supposed to know. I don't think we are supposed to know. I don't know. It strikes me.
Well, I think it'd be weird if he didn't have a name, if they were always just like the guy before you, the guy, like, right? Like,
yes.
If I never referred to AJ and I was just like the other guy on the show, wouldn't that be kind of weird?
Okay, I guess I get your point. It's just they've said it multiple times. I felt like there was a point, but I don't know. But yes, I see what you're saying too. That does make sense.
I mean, I'm just a little devil's advocate there. I'm not saying like they have his name several times.
The way it was said made me think maybe it had reason.
They haven't said it several times. It could be something, but I think this is not that show. But maybe it's just like he was a person to them and they use his name. Like,
yeah,
when you talk about someone from your job and you're like, oh, the guy that was here before you, AJ, he also was, right? Like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I would just say that with only 4 episodes to go, we should maybe not dig too deep for me.
I just was curious because it keeps, well, at least to me, it seemed like it kept coming up. Okay, so this is where she has the conversation. You know, he just thinks you're trying to, you know, show what a big city cop would do, and that he, you know, I told him about it because I thought maybe he would listen, but it's your story to tell. And she admits, though, she never did see Annie drink. And she's like, hey, her tent's still up. We can't go get it till later. So you can go check it out, you know, without actually saying go check it out.
Yeah, her tent's going to be demolished, but like the garbage truck or whoever's coming is not going to be there till tomorrow.
Yeah.
So
he has time to go check out the evidence. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So then
so last week I ranted about how much I hate her and she's my least favorite person because she's a gigantic, unpleasant jerk all the time. And then she was great and she redeemed herself in this episode. I don't hate her anymore. She was nice and I like that she apologized right away. She's like, oh, I should have told your story. I overstepped. And she was like, and then I was so disappointed when there's like that awkward near kiss moment in the next scene, right? And I was like, why'd you have to ruin it? Why does every male and female character almost kiss?
It wasn't needed. I agree it wasn't needed, but I kind of thought it was cute. I don't know. Yeah, it definitely wasn't needed.
It was highly unprofessional. Of course, whatever. We'll get to that scene next. But so I hated her so much last week, and now this week I was like, oh, she did a 180, and she's actually a normal, nice person, colleague this week.
Yeah. All right. So Hendrix and Stackhouse are going behind Sigsbee's back after she leaves, and taking Luke to get his Dreambox test.
Yeah.
Experiment. Yeah.
With Tony, the abuser.
Yes, and he's surprised about it, but they tell him that, or Hendrik says that, think of it as garbage day. We'll show you images to help you clean house. And he says, have you noticed that psychic power is activated and enhanced by pain? And then I think what he said, I never got this down for sure, but I think he said
Oh,
that joining the hum is separating yourself from your body. So the physical pain is counterproductive. So that's why they're using psychic.
yes, that's basically what he said. In order to join the hum, you have to like let go of your body, but if your body's in pain, you can't let go of it. So instead, we're going to try psychic pain, which to me, like, that seems like like faulty reasoning, but whatever. I'm not an evil scientist, so I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, so they show him all these creepy images, and say that he, if he connects to the hum, that they'll stop.
It was a little Clockwork Orange, wasn't it? Like,
yeah, it was very, very creepy. I wanted to ask you though.
or like, what's the episode of Lost where they put Carl in that room and make him look at all those weird, right?
Oh, and they hold his eyes open. Yeah,
which is very Clockwork Orange. Also, they do that Clockwork Orange, but they put Carl in that room. Ben puts Carl in that room and makes him look at stuff in Lost, right?
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. So a little bit tropey. We've seen this before, but it was kind of creepy.
Yeah, but I wanted to ask you because we couldn't remember for sure. Didn't Kalisha say something about like it was your worst nightmare in Dreambox? And we weren't sure if some of these, from what she'd said, if maybe they were supposed to be memories, because only some of them seem to be memories. So I'm not sure if any of the images are important or has correlation to why they showed it to Luke. I don't know that it even matters, but it seems like a bunch of random shit to me.
I don't know if she said that. I know that she said it was horrible and everybody's exhausted when they come out of there. I don't know if she said it was like a nightmare, but it did seem like a bunch of sort of random unpleasant images until it looked like his mom wasn't that his mom talking and being and saying like, whatever you do is.
Yeah, I'm looking to see animals killing animals. But yes, it was
that's his mom, right?
Yeah, it was the pizza scene, him and his mother and father. Because the only thing I could come up with is maybe because he's worried about that they did something to his parents, and that's why it's his nightmare. But otherwise,
here's the thing: are they pulling it from his mind, or were they recording them in the pizza restaurant? And like,
very well could be. Right? Yeah, I hadn't even thought of that.
Like, could they? If it's your favorite restaurant, they put a camera in it, or could they just have had a spy at the next table recording your conversations to use against you, right?
Yeah, because I kind of thought that these images were supposed to be like projected on it. So that's a good point I hadn't even thought of.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like it could. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't really think it was his mind projecting it. I thought they were.
No, I mean, I thought they were projecting it. They were on the screen.
They were projecting it, right? Yeah, they were projecting it. I thought, and I thought that, yeah, I thought maybe it was a recording of his mother that they had made somehow.
Yeah, definitely could be.
Yeah,
I hadn't really. I just wasn't sure about the images, what they were supposed to represent, other than the family. So I just was curious what you thought.
Yeah.
All right.
But other people might. I wonder what people in the chat think. Do you think that? Hey, Fletch. Do you guys think that the Institute had made a recording, or do you think these were images out of Lucas's mind, which would be insane? Because why would he think of like wolves eating a carcass of a sheep and like flies buzzing? Like, they were very creepy image. Like, right? Like, what was that?
Hi, Fletch. Kelly says they were there. They showed the one lady who was shot in the pizza place. Wait, who was shot in the pizza place?
They showed the one lady who was shot. Oh, okay, yes. Okay, so the fake reporter with the short hair who was murdered by the second fake reporter. Not the fake reporter.
Okay.
The Snatch girl who was murdered by the reporter.
The Snatch girl. Okay, yeah, she was there, so she might have been recording them without their knowledge. That's a good point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Kelly, thank you. Kelly believes they were there also, that they were there in the pizza place, and that in that shot, if you go back to it, Jamie, you only have the one shot, but if we were to rewatch, I think Kelly's saying if we were to rewatch it, we'd see the short-haired dead assassin.
Yeah, I mean, she definitely was in that scene in the pilot, but I couldn't tell in this.
Yeah,
Everything was
yeah. Okay, so in the pilot, we saw her in the pizza place, so we know they were there. So of course they were recording. Thank you.
Fletch is asking about, she did not see it, Fletcher. So did you see the lives yesterday? Yeah, Fletcher was asking us if we thought that Annie used to be somebody in the Institute and if Tim was related to somebody in the Institute, which I think both are possible. I just, like I said before, I kind of wonder, since they killed Annie so quickly, if that's not the case. But I don't know. What do you think?
I have always kind of thought that Annie was just a person with like undiscovered powers, and it's the bad luck of the Institute that she's roaming around their town. And I don't really think that she escaped. Although if they really do, basically, I don't think that, because I don't believe Sigsbee that they're going to erase your memories and let you leave and go on and live your life. I believe they kill you, or we learned later in this episode, we learned what they do to you, where you're going next, and they're not going to erase your memory and send you home. And so I don't, so if she escaped, her mind wouldn't be erased, right? But if she was let go, it might explain more why she doesn't remember. But I don't know. I have some new thoughts about what the Institute is, and I'm not sure that I believe the Institute is a long, like, I have some thoughts at the end of this episode about what I thought the Institute was. I don't really think that anymore. And I don't maybe think it's been there for 50 years. I don't maybe think Annie escaped, because I don't think it was around when Annie was a kid. I kind of think Annie was maybe just a sense, like I called her Force sensitive last week. And like, do I think that Tim is related to somebody from the Institute, or just related to somebody who also has powers or is sensitive? The thing is, in the book, Tim's in South Carolina, and AJ's not here tonight, but in the book, Tim is, whatever he's experiencing, he's not in the town of the Institute, right? They've changed it a little bit. So, but like, I mean, Fletch feels like Annie was once like Luke with the precog. Yes, I think that is totally possible.
Yeah, I definitely. Oh, that was my other question for you. Wait, before we go too far from that, do you think that Annie saw the plane crashing as it was happening, or did she predict it? Because just because he heard it on the news later, we don't know when it actually happened. So that's more of like an opinion. I just was curious.
Oh my God.
I hadn't thought about it.
Guess what happened today? Remember last week on this show, I said, Jamie, can you believe that plane crash happened in Minot, North Dakota? And today, the next day of our show, there was a near miss of a Delta jet in Minot, North Dakota, right? Do you know, today I was driving my car and NPR was interviewing people who, it was on this show called, what is the Kai Risdall show? The business show they do. They were interviewing a woman who has a small business. She's a small business owner, and she lives in, you guessed it, Minot, North Dakota. How come every day this show is on, this town I've never heard of, now I hear about it every time we have an Institute show?
That is weird. That is really weird.
But so Fletch thinks that Annie was once like Luke, and that's why they faked her death as an overdose. And we eventually found out a connection. People just say she was a junkie. That's not. Yes. Oh, definitely. I think when you fake someone with an overdose, you want to discredit every word ever came out of their mouth, right? Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I agree with you there. I think that in the recovery room, they are in a vegetative state. Like okay. So we haven't we're going to get to that next gen about the recovery room.
I'm guessing by faked death, you mean that they made it look like she killed herself, not.
Not that she's actually alive, but that they faked the cause of death.
Yes.
They faked the overdose, not that they faked, no, Bill Chill's not all considered. That show is called, what is the business show that comes on after All Things Considered? That Kai Risdall is the host. The financial show. It'll come up. She's not alive. Yeah, Fletch. Yeah, she's not alive.
Okay. So now what I was asking, so do you think that she predicted the plane crash, or was she seeing it as it was happening?
I mean, that's a good question. I hadn't thought about that, Jamie, because it comes on TV. Tim sees it on TV. It's obviously after the fact, right?
Right. I don't know that we'll ever know. I just was curious because I hadn't thought about it until I had done the rewatch, and I'm like,
because she says it in the past tense. She says they made the pilot see the wrong numbers. She didn't say they're going to make the pilot see the wrong numbers, right? She
Right.
said they
We don't know
made the
exactly when it happened. It's hard to tell.
right. She said they made the pilots see it wrong, but
Yeah.
that doesn't. Yeah, I don't know. She could be a precog. Or she could be, I mean, to be a TP, she might be to be a TP at that distance. They're in Maine and the crash happens in North Dakota, and to see it happen at the exact moment, that's a pretty powerful TP, right?
Yeah, it's powerful either way. That's a good
Yeah,
point.
yeah. But it's a powerful, yeah. A precog might, I don't know, like later in the episode. So when we get to this episode shows a precog happening only like 6 feet away, not like across the country, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah, Jen says, I think she saw it and then told him.
Yeah. Anyway, in this scene you got up here, Jamie, where Tim is like going through Annie's tent, it made me think, remember last week I was like, God, what a grossly incompetent,
at least
assassin we have here,
work,
right? And this just
Yeah.
gets worse. Like he fought, like if I assassinated somebody, I would go through their tent and take away all their newspaper clippings and all their right? Like, wouldn't you snatch up anything that might be right? Interesting.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
So he finds a pop of some kind, looks like an energy drink, with her lipstick, the vodka without her lipstick, and then he finds a map that she drew about the Red Steps and the newspaper about the kids who died at the Red Steps or whatever it's called.
And this is also a giveaway of an incompetent assassin who spent no time studying their victim to learn that she always has lipstick on. There would definitely be lipstick on the bottle, right?
Yeah. Sometimes I wonder when they do that though, is that more just like, ooh, a clue? Like they do it to make it like an apparent clue,
yes. A clue. Yes. A clue.
Yeah.
But I think if I ever need an assassin, I'm not hiring these people.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. All right. So Avery comes in, even though Luke doesn't want to talk to him. What's that? The back half is the place it turned into the voices speaking to Sarah in front of him. It'd be nice if it were true.
Luke's exhausted. He's not, when you come out of the dream box, you're like a wreck, right? Yeah.
Right. But he's like, I got Kalisha. So he is able to project, I guess, what he's seeing in his head to Luke, is how I took this. Luke is amazing.
Oh, yeah. It's interesting. It's interesting that he says, hold my hand. Like, is the implication that you have to be touching, or does it just make you feel more intimate with the person so you can project your thoughts more clearly? We don't know.
I don't know, but he does after let go of him, but I don't think he really does. I think it's just like in the vision or whatever he lets go. But he brings him to see Kalisha.
Yep.
Who basically says that she has not, when they say that he hasn't been able to contact her, she says that it's because she's been in a sort of daze that everybody there is.
Yeah.
And she does say also that when they get their whatever it is they do, that it makes them sharper for a while, but then it gives them a bad headache after.
Oh yeah, she felt good at first, but the implication is that the more she felt sharper, but then the more times more experiences you have, the more dazed you become. And right.
Yeah. So they talk about the jumpsuit, which isn't really that important. Avery can hear the hum where she's at. Luke can't yet. But she says about everybody being able to feel it. She says that it isn't bad there though, because it's better than front half because there's no tokens, all the smokes and everything are free. There's no more dream box. But she's trying to convince herself.
yes, Jamie, because the jumpsuit's not important, but doesn't it look like a prison? They're all wearing the same jumpsuit. It's all concrete, these horrible lights. It's not like front half is pleasant, but they have their rooms and
they can free cigarettes, so it's okay.
What?
I said, but they cigarettes.
Yeah.
Cigarettes.
It looks more like a prison to me than front half did, right?
It does.
Front half looked like juvie and back half looks like prison.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. I agree. But she's saying there's no more tests, at least. And she does say, or deprivation tanks. I don't know if she's calling what Luke goes through a deprivation tank. I mean, they definitely deprive him of oxygen, but
yes, because later Sigsbee calls it deprivation also.
Okay, because that's not really what a deprivation tank is, but
yes, they're depriving him of air.
Right, I know, but I mean, when they say a deprivation tank, like there are actually deprivation tanks, and they don't deprive you of air.
That's a different. I mean, they deprive you of light, they deprive you of sound. That sort of X-Files-ish kind of fringy deprivation tank, but I mean, it's a deprivation experiment, I guess, that involves a tank, right? It's funny that everyone talked about how bad the dream box was. I'm sorry, but doesn't deprivation seem like a lot worse?
Yeah, but I kind of wonder, though, if they all get that, because that was like they tortured him because he wouldn't tell the truth. Like somebody else maybe admitted it right away, so they wouldn't go through that. I don't know.
I don't know, but Kalisha knows about, like, they know about it, right? Like,
yeah, they definitely know about it.
Kids have talked about it. They know about it. If she hasn't gone through it, someone's told her about it.
Yeah. But let's see. She says when she talks about what they do there about movie night, she says, you know those Twitch games that grown men play? I think there's a lot easier way to explain first-person shooter. But
why couldn't she just call it a first-person shooter? Except maybe this was written in 2019. I think first-person shooter was a thing even in 2019 when the book was written.
Maybe that's true. Well, I don't think Twitch around in 2019 though.
I don't think it was.
I don't think.
And I would just like to point out that the last time I played a video game was in like maybe 1989, and I know what a first-person shooter is. Come on, right?
Yeah.
Like, come on, Kalisha. Maybe that might have been thrown in here because they think whoever the target audience is of this show might not know what it is, right? Like, why would any teenager from 2019 until now not be like, oh, it was like a first-person shooter, right?
I was gonna say, I think most people know what that is, but yeah.
But maybe some people don't. Maybe there are people that know, right?
Yeah. I don't like first-person shooters. They make me dizzy.
No, there could be people who are watching this just because they like Stephen King.
That's true too. That's true.
And maybe they're old and don't know what a first-person shooter is.
No, maybe. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, if my parents were watching this and they said that, I'd probably have to explain what it is. I mean, they'd get it if I explained it, but I think I'd have to explain it first.
But you're right that Twitch wasn't around in
Twitch was. I don't think it was around.
And who knows? And if you don't know what a first-person shooter is, you don't know what Twitch is.
That's a good point.
But anyway, she says that
not first-person shooter.
But we digress because this was like really a key part of the episode, right? Yeah. Like she says, like, oh, we were looking.
It's like the first-person shooter, except we're not shooting; we're just living. That they're brushing their teeth, they're driving, then they're doing doctor stuff, and that it wasn't on the screen. The movie was on the screen from across the exam room. Like somebody, I didn't understand that because she said it wasn't on the screen, but then she said no, it was on the screen from across the exam room. I don't know.
But it was like somebody was wearing a camera inside his shirt, she said, right?
Yes. And then she said something about that she could see the doctor's point of view when she closed her eyes. So I guess she could see it in her mind's eye as well. But yeah, it's from that person's point of view is the point. And that is what they are seeing or they are interacting with or whatever.
So, yeah.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, I mean, yeah. What do you, let me know what you think first. Cause we already talked about this a little bit, but what do you think?
I think she doesn't know what's happening. I think maybe they're drugged or maybe they're, they drug them before every test, right? Like maybe they're getting a shot, they're being drugged. I think they're practicing like inhabiting somebody else's mind, like being in your mind and seeing you like go about your life. Like, and they were like doing doctor things. Like, were they making a doctor give somebody the wrong medicine or give, right? Like in the way that they made the pilot see the wrong thing. Mm-hmm. So did they take over the pilot's body or did they just project into the pilot? Like you see one, but it's actually two. Like, were they practicing like going into somebody's mind and like, look, Kalisha was a very weak TP, right? She's a weak TP. She was until and now she's like, are they like somehow able to make her, all of them like practice being in somebody's mind and just like sitting in your mind and watching you go about your day? And is the next step to control your mind to do something?
Yeah, I was going to say, Annie talked about mind control. So I definitely think that that's where it's headed. I agree with you. I just was curious to kind of hear what you
What did you guys think about, what did you guys talk about in the live stream last night? What does the gang mostly think?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of what we said, that they're controlling them. I mean, that's what I said. I don't know if anybody in the chat responded to that. I'm trying to remember, but yeah, I think that they're doing something. I agree. I think it has to do with the plane, and maybe they forced that pilot down or whatever. And I think that's
or
good.
I think maybe somebody who graduated the institute a while ago did that.
Well, yeah, not them,
right? Not these kids in this room, but this is the training ground where you learn how to like be in somebody's mind. I think, and it's interesting because Kalisha was weak, and so she said we were doing this like maybe they as a group are more powerful.
Yeah, maybe
feed off each other or something. I don't know. There wasn't a lot there, but it was like a step towards.
Yeah, it's definitely was a step towards. Bill says Twitch's popularity surged significantly in 2013 and 14, particularly after its acquisition.
All right, and this was written in like 2018-19. So thank you.
Yeah, it could have been there.
So just because I didn't know about Twitch doesn't mean it didn't exist.
Yeah, I didn't know much. I still don't know much about Twitch, to be honest. So I'm not really the right person.
You need to be like, my nephew is 14 and his whole life is playing like first-person shooters on Twitch. Not his whole life. His whole life is
mostly for gaming.
He plays a lot of these games on
Twitch. We're streaming to Twitch right now, but I don't think it keeps them when you're not live. So like people don't even, I don't see it.
Well, whatever. So thank you, Bill. Chill. It was a thing. We were wrong.
Yes, thank you. All right. So she sees Iris here, who is really out of it and drops her cigarette in her bowl.
And Iris only graduated like 4 days ago, right? Like Iris left since Lucas has been in the shop, and Bill's only been there, he's only been there like a week maybe, right? So Iris has only been gone like 3 or 4 days, and she's like completely out of it.
Yes. She said, Avery says that something's wrong inside her head. And that's where Kalisha says, movie nights take a toll. You feel clear at first, but the headache comes back worse every time. She's been through too many. They're going to move her soon. And looks like
into recovery, right?
Into recovery. They'll have her leave it a sparkler night and then send her to recovery. That's where the hum is, and they know that's where the hum is coming from. That even Luke can hear at this point. So
and then doesn't Kalisha say after recovery you get to go home?
That's what they've been told, yeah. But Luke wants she wants Avery to try to see what's behind that door that is the hum is coming from, but he's too scared to do it, and he kind of refuses and wakes them up. So yeah, he got scared, but they told him they have to know what's behind that door, and I think that's I think it's
recovery, important. Right? And so I want to go back now, way back to Jen's comment from a while ago. I think that in the recovery room, they're in a vegetative state, like their brains are fried from overusing their powers. 100% agree. That's a great theory, and I really don't have any. I mean, I'm down with that. Like everything that Kalisha described, everything we saw with Iris, it does appear like their brains are being fried from and their powers are weak, and they're being pushed to. This is not like a healthy. This is not a healthy way to develop your powers, right? This is like let's abuse you to express it and take advantage of it.
Until you have no juice left, right?
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, he got scared and he pulled away. So we don't know what is back there. Bill says the back half seems to be a place of no return where powers are further exploited and weaponized. It seems to lead to demise. Yes.
Yeah.
I would agree.
Yeah.
I would agree.
Yep, they use you up and spit you out. For every 20 kids that they destroy, they might find one they can use. Right?
Yeah, like him try to sell. All right. So then we have this conversation about. Wait, I lost where it was.
This is the conversation where Avery says, like, Harry had Cocker Spaniels at home, and these girls are his substitute. And either Lucas or Nikki says, like, those girls have him, like, wrapped around their little finger or whatever, something like that, right?
Yeah. Sorry, I was reading what I said. Because between that, Sigsbee's looking at the surveillance of.
We skipped over that.
Yeah, I wasn't that important. She's looking at Hendrick. Well, you can't tell in that picture, but she was looking at Hendricks and Stackhouse, and that was how she knew that they took him to Dreambox.
And the microphones are turned off in that part of the hallway, right? Like Stackhouse said that last week. He's like, "Oh, the microphones are malfunctioning in this hallway."
Yeah.
But like, don't they know that she's going to see them? I guess they don't care.
I guess they don't care, or at least Stackhouse doesn't care. But yeah, this is where they ask Avery what Harry thinks of the twins, and he thinks of them like his Cocker Spaniels. And also George makes that comment about Dateline, because yeah, it is a little weird that he's hanging out with them, but
Well, I mean, but they're all new together. I could see, like, they're new and they're all three of them scared and know what's going on. I could see maybe hanging with the people you just came in with instead of people who are already there. Maybe. Right?
Yeah.
Maybe.
He makes that joke at any rate.
Yeah.
And then
Nikki says, like, I never knew my grandma's or my grandpa's.
Yeah.
Poor kid. Yeah.
And this is also where George is like, well, if there's no dream box in back half, sign me up. Like, even if you're that out of it, you get to go home after. So yeah, he's still living in a dream world.
Is this when Nikki says, like, oh, you just totally are ready to believe anything they say? Right? Is this where they have the conversation where George is like, you really think we can't believe them? And Nikki's like, no, you can't believe them.
Something like that. Yeah,
right? He's like, and Lucas is super smart and he's on my side. Like, this is where I sort of think, like, George is a person that maybe can't be true. Like, would George rat them out? I don't know.
Maybe. I think some of them just can't accept
that they're probably going to be killed. Yeah. I get that.
Bill says the children in the back half are subjected to increasingly brutal tests and experiments with the goal of extracting abilities for use in assassination.
Yep.
I think that's a definite possibility, Bill.
Yep.
All right. So it starts to rain after this conversation. And okay, so they all go inside, but Luke stays and talks to Sigsbee, who wants to talk to him alone, and offers him a cigarette. And she's like, sometimes it's fun to be bad. This conversation was just totally power play and her trying to psychoanalyze him and it not working, clearly. She says that his test scores don't corroborate. I still cannot say that damn word. Corroborate with the progress that he's making. And he won't tell her why. He just talks about the petrichor. And then he says about the interview with the chess player that the chess player said that if somebody liked to stay out or like to go inside from the rain, that he would play in an open wild game and they would lose. But if they were like to stay out, then they were drawn to chaos and he plays a closed game and they would lose patience and lose. But basically, he's just feeding her a lot of bullshit right back.
I kind of love that. I mean, first of all, I love that he uses the word petrichor, which, look, I had to look it up. I looked up petrichor after this. I did not know what petrichor was. It's the smell of the rain, right?
Yeah, I knew that. I don't know why I knew that. It was in a story or something I read. So I had looked it up a long time ago, but I didn't know what that was.
I mean, that's a real SAT word. He uses petrichor. It's a flex, right? He's trying to flex his intellect. But she knows what it means. Sigsbee says, oh, petrichor, like, no wonder you ace the SAT. Actually, she doesn't really say that she knows what it means, but I think she does know what it means, right? She flexes back at him. And then, like, she's trying to manipulate him, and then he tells this chess story, which is basically like, I can beat you. Like, no matter what you try to do, I can react and I can beat you. He's trying to flex back. Like, I kind of liked... I mean, I did like the scene. I'm not really sure who I think came out on top of that conversation.
Yeah, I think either of them did.
I think maybe Lucas gave too much away, but he's a kid, and I can see the tactic that he's taking there, right?
Yeah. The main thing is she wants to know about the dream box. She is speculating they put him in the dream box. She really doesn't know for sure.
Well, she knows they took him down that hallway, right?
She knows they took him in the hallway, but she doesn't know for sure. She wants him to admit it, and he's like, you know, why are they not telling you? So then he's kind of like egging her on, like, you know, they don't trust you, or they're trying to get rid of you, or whatever, undermine you. Like, he's totally doing it right back. And he gives her nothing, and she gives him nothing in the end, I feel like. But yeah, she says, stop fighting me. You can't win. So...
Which I feel like is like famous last words. Like, they had her say that because, like, her hubris maybe is where she will lose, right? Like, don't fight me, you can't win. I'm sorry, your job is dealing with telekinesis, telepathy, and precognition, and these kids can never win. Like, it's because all the powers are really weak. Like, these are all weakly. Apparently, humans don't really express strong powers, and they haven't found one yet. And so she's really confident that everybody can be. I mean, they rely mostly on physical subjugation of these kids, right? Eventually, won't there be a kid who can throw a refrigerator at Tony and like bust
Yeah,
out?
I would wonder. I mean, they comment that like they can only lift however many pounds or whatever. We talked about that before, but I think that's because they're not strong enough yet. So yeah, I kind of think eventually something is going to not go as they expect. Hi, Muncher.
Here's a couple. You gotta go to the chat. There's a couple of great comments in the chat.
Yeah, I was going to, but you were about to, so I'll let you do it.
Sigsbee is playing chess with Luke to gain his trust. Yeah,
basically. Yeah.
She tries to be too much of a buddy to gain their trust, but she goes about it wrong. Yes, because she's always like, "Oh, breakfast is the most important part of the day. Oh, let's have this weird, sad cake and sing." Like, she's like, it's like she's never met a kid in her entire life. And she acts like the freakiest weirdo around. She treats them all like they're 7, right? And they're teenagers. Yes, she tries so hard to be buddy, and she goes about it all wrong.
Well,
and it only makes it worse, right?
Yeah, but I think in this case, Luke is too smart for her, and like it was never going to work.
Luke is probably the smartest kid that ever was in there, right?
Yeah, and he was not going to give her anything. He wasn't going to, and I think she probably knew that, but she hoped she could.
She's too sarcastic and somewhat condescending. Absolutely. And teenagers see right through that shit. Like, you can condescend to like little kids, you can condescend to adults, but teenagers are so tuned to it, right?
Yeah, they're like, don't pull that bullshit.
Yeah. And of course, I always highlight every person who says, "Exactly, Karen." Woo!
Yeah.
I wish AJ was here because, AJ, I don't know if you guys know this, but we've been on doing this show together for like 20 years now. And AJ and I used to disagree about every single thing ever. And then suddenly we like became simpatico and like started to agree on theories. But I'd be like, AJ, that will never happen. Sigsbee is good. And he'd be like, Sigsbee is bad. And we,
I like when we don't always agree, though. We always have different points of view.
Yeah, but we all agree that Sigsbee is going about it the wrong way, and these kids like she's so sarcastic. It's like, are you even trying? Are you trying to piss the kids off more? Like, sometimes I think like she's doing it on purpose to be a jerk.
I agree. Sometimes I do, and I'm not entirely sure either. So yeah. We also talked about his NASA shirt because Scarlett was saying that.
Oh, I didn't. Oh, it's a NASA shirt.
That's a thing in the Shiny? One of them. I don't know.
Yeah.
I forget.
I wonder where these clothes came from. When they kidnap you, do they grab all your clothes? Or did they
I don't know. Well, they grab everything from their room, so maybe they grab the clothes.
Did they duplicate all your clothes so it would be ready when you got there?
Yeah, I don't know. I hadn't really.
Because they duplicated his jersey, right? They duplicated the basketball jersey. We know that.
Yeah, I just assume that they duplicate or bring probably all their stuff. So
I think they duplicate. Yeah.
Maybe. I don't think they ever intend them to come home. So it depends whether they're trying to not let people know they were taken, or if it's maybe somebody like Nikki that nobody seems to care about. They could just take it.
Nobody cares about Nikki for sure. I think they like somebody like Lucas. I think they're trying to stage it as a runaway, and maybe they would not steal more than a backpack worth of stuff out of your house.
Yeah.
Oh, Bill, they made laser printed clothing. Yeah.
To print everything. Yeah.
I mean, if they're watching you for a while, they can take all the pictures and get all the stuff they want. But anyway, NASA shirt is cool. Yes.
Okay. All right. So then we have Tim going to Wendy's. And I was saying it's so hard when you're doing these, like they go back and forth. It's like they went there just for him to say, I hope this isn't weird. And for her to say, why would it be weird? Like, why not just put the whole scene together? Like, why?
Well,
other than to make it hard when I'm doing capture.
Oh, because then they came back to the actual conversation they had later. Yeah.
So that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
All right.
Blame the editor, not the writer, not the director. The editor.
No, I know. I just think it's funny when they do that. It's like, what's the point of a scene that's like 30 seconds long? Like, just put it together. Yeah. So Tony is taking Harry back to his room, who is sick. Luke's like he's in bad shape, and he's all, well, everybody's affected differently, but he wants him to get a doctor. Um,
And Tony's like, oh, whatever, he's fine. I puked on me. Yeah.
Yeah. And this is when Luke is like, Maureen, you can drop the all shucks routine. I know what they do here. Now, I feel like this is kind of the same thing that Sigsbee just did to him, which I had not realized until I'm reading this now, thinking about it. That's why I do both of these and I get different ideas each time. Like he's kind of doing the same thing to Maureen that she just did to him, because she just said to, when she said to Luke, oh, they gave you the dream box, and wanted him to confirm it. Like, he's like, I know what they do here. He thinks that she'll say what they do there.
Oh,
he doesn't really know.
Yeah.
He's like, really thought about it until now.
He's like, Maureen, you know what they do here. And she's supposed to say, like, yes, I know they torture children because of your powers. But she like doesn't say, she just says, like, look, I'm a glorified janitor. Get off my ass, right? Leave me alone. Like Maureen.
But, she tells him that they can talk by the ice maker and out at the
I mean, one thing about this, like, does Luke think he's the first person to try to psychologize Maureen? Like, I don't know how long Maureen's worked there, and I don't know how many kids have come through there before her, but he's not the first, right? Like, is he the first? Are they the first kids who could read Maureen? Are they like, is Maureen like on her guard, right? Like, maybe, like, I don't know, maybe he is the first kid to like try to pay attention to her, but maybe not.
Well, they said before something like that they never even test the security, that like they question it, but they never test it.
Oh, the kids never try. Yeah.
Which is crazy. Probably they haven't. They're only there so many days. They probably don't.
They're not there very long, and the physical abuse, they think maybe like cows them. I don't know.
Which one of us said psychologize instead of psychoanalyze? One of us said psychologize.
Psychologize. Yes,
I don't know. It might have been me. If I said it, I meant psychoanalyze.
Well, I don't mean psychoanalyze. I mean like psychologically manipulate you.
Okay, that's fair.
What I mean by psychologize, I'm like when I say she tried to psychologize her, I mean like manipulate, right? Using like psychology.
Yeah, no, I get that. Sorry, Muncher. AJ couldn't come tonight. He'll be back is that tomorrow? I'm like, wait, what's today? Tomorrow for Fandom Access. I have to constantly think, what's today? That's bad.
What day is it?
He'll be back for Fandom Access tomorrow. But anyway, she tells him they can talk at the ice machine and in the playground if she's telling the truth. And he says that she's the only one that feels ashamed. And this is where he asks about her son, which I'm guessing is picking up because he's reading her mind. Which, we skipped over the part, I realize now, because we started talking about something else we hadn't talked about. Like, he was hiding from them that he was TP because he doesn't want, obviously, the adults to know, because then he'll be sent to the back half and they can't keep trying to escape.
And now he gives it all away to Maureen. He gives it all away to her, right? Like, why do you trust her, right?
Yeah. I'm assuming that he got it from her mind. Although I don't know, maybe he inferred it, but I'm guessing he probably read her mind. But he asked about her son, and he's like, I'm not your kid, but I could be. And it's like, he's kind of saying, what if somebody did this to your kid? Wouldn't you want somebody to help? He's really trying hard to get her to do something.
So what do you think about her kid? Do you think her kid was in there? Do you think she just lost a kid and they're playing?
I don't know, but I definitely think it implied her. I thought, and I don't know, but I assume the way they're saying it that maybe her kid's dead.
I think so too. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Maureen should not be trusted. Absolutely, Maureen should not be trusted. Do I, as a viewer of this show, think there's maybe some empathy in Maureen and maybe she could be trusted? Maybe, but I'm the viewer. For those kids, Maureen should not be trusted.
Yes, I agree. In real life, you shouldn't trust her, but in the show, they probably will. I psychologize for my lack of empathy.
Psychologize.
I like that. Next time I say apologize, I'll say that. I psychologize. That's great. But yeah, I think that there's a good chance that they might trust her, whether they should or not.
I mean, he did. Luke went out on a limb and trusted her. He's like, I know about your son. Can you know what they do here? He has let on. Jen also thinks her son is dead. I think her son is dead. Although, like earlier in last week's episode, Avery said, I know her big secret.
Yeah, so it's possible even Avery told him whatever it is. Maybe that's to do with the secret. I didn't even think of that. So maybe
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of off-screen conversations that figure into something like this, but that's possible, Jamie, for sure.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
Maureen,
I think he more likely read her mind.
Maureen, like her big secret, might have to do with her son's death, right? Or there's a big secret Maureen, like Avery has alluded to. We don't know what it is yet. Not alluded to. He said she has a big secret.
Yeah.
And I think it's related to her son, who I agree is dead. Whose name was Jacob, who went by Jake. If she does help them because Jacob is dead, then I definitely think the kids die or left brain dead.
I think to think, however, he died, that it wasn't there, because I feel like if he died, like she wouldn't be working there if her own son had been tortured by him, unless like she got in specifically to get revenge or something. Then I could see that, but otherwise, I couldn't see her working there if her son died there.
So Avery said last week that she really hates her job. I kind of thought maybe they have something on her that keeps her working there. But maybe she's working there to get answers on her son. But if she is, she's the worst detective ever. She just always look at her in this picture. That is how Maureen always looks, so sad, so put upon. So like, this is a person that is very unhappy in this job, right? And Avery says that she hates her job. Right? So why does she keep working there?
Yeah, that's probably why they'll trust her. So
yeah. Jen doesn't think he died there. Maybe he died somewhere else and she's just carrying however he died, she's carrying something about it, right? But which also, Jen, I think that's entirely a good theory also, and totally possible that he didn't die there and Maureen's just carrying whatever baggage. But like, why does she work there? Why does she keep working there? I mean, surely Maureen has the defeated, sad sheeple face. She does, boy. Can't she get a job anyplace? Look, there's an opening at the mini mart right now because the owner got shot. He needs a good desk clerk for a while, right? Like, or a cashier for a while. Like, there has to be another job besides working as a janitor.
I kind of wonder though, once you work there, if it's like one of those things like once you work there, you ain't gonna leave.
No, because you know they're torturing kids. So she might be a prisoner as much as the kids are.
Yeah, I feel like you don't work there and then decide to quit. That's what I think.
Like, I found a better job that pays me $1 more.
She works there for the show to continue. Yes, you're right, Buncher. She does.
She keeps working there in order for the show to continue. Thanks for the reality check. When Luke said to her that she's more than a glorified janitor, I wonder what he meant by that, or if he was just fishing. I mean,
I think he was just kind of saying you can do anything, meaning you can
do better. Like, don't think of yourself like that. That's so sad. You can be better. Or like,
I think it was like saying you may be just a janitor, but you can still help us. You can still do it. I don't know. That's how I took it.
I thought he meant maybe like, you're more than that. Don't think of yourself like that. Or Jen, are you implying that maybe he senses something in her? Like, does she have power? Is she got some latent powers? I don't really think she does, but I'm not sure what Jen means like that. Or maybe, Jen, you just mean like it was a weird comment and let's see what happens. Yeah, it was a little, she's like, I'm just a glorified janitor. He's like, no, you're more than that. Or maybe it's just like he's trying to be nice to her because the only person who's nice to her might be able to get something out of her because nobody else is nice to her. I mean, Sigsbee's not outright cruel to her, but she's not nice to her. Maureen is clearly miserable. And is it Avery or Luke who says, like, Luke says you're the only person who's ashamed.
Yeah.
What's going on here? Shame is a very powerful emotion.
Yeah. And he thinks that it means that she will break, I guess.
I think he thinks she knows more than he's cleaning. Yes, because she's like, oh, Miss Sigsbee, I'll clean your office while you're out. Wink, wink, right? Luke is fishing for Maureen's secret, maybe. Yep.
Yeah. Yep. I would agree with that. All right. So, hi, Alice. Okay. So then we have Tim and Wendy, where
can I just say Jen is my favorite person because she said it again.
That's great. So then we have, like I said, Tim and Wendy, and Tim is talking to her about the alcohol and about asked if she ever saw her with a lipstick, and she says she didn't. And he thinks that the alcohol was poured down her throat to shut her
I
up.
don't know about that.
But she may have not even had any alcohol in her system. I
I
think that may
assume they shot her up with something else to kill her and then just put a vodka bottle next to her.
that's kind of what I figured. Just put an empty vodka
I mean,
bottle.
I think forcing vodka down into your stomach and waiting for you to die is not like a good method of assassination.
Well, I don't know that they necessarily killed her in that way, but they could have dumped some down her throat so it would be on the talk screen. But if they did,
you'd have to drink enough for it to be in your bloodstream, and that takes a while for your body to process it, go through your stomach, go through your liver. You don't just pour it in a dead person's body, and it doesn't go into your bloodstream once you're dead. You have to be alive, and it has to go through your body and whatever, right, to get into your bloodstream. Yeah, I assume they gave her a shot of like whatever, fentanyl, some other kind of drug, and they like put a vodka bottle next to her and assumed that nobody would care, and they were correct. But and the lipstick is like the huge clue.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I think they probably more likely just said it there. They didn't do their job. They didn't look into it very well.
No, because she's a terrible assassin.
Yes, I agree. So he does tell her about the plane crash that Annie told him about. And then he shows her the papers about the Red Steps tragedy and the map. And she gets out her yearbook. And she went to school with these kids. She was in a different year. They were seniors. She was a freshman. So she really didn't know them, but she knew of them kind of.
And if we all remember from high school, that's a huge divide. Like seniors kind of don't really talk to freshmen that much, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we all need to be in writer's room, muncher. But yeah, they had some kind of group called Notre Pan. It says Notre Pane, but he pronounced Notre Pan.
That's how you say it in French.
Maybe meant our bread. They didn't know, but she said it was an inside joke. Nobody understood. And yeah. So then there's they almost kiss kind of really, there's like an awkward moment where they get close. I don't know. I thought it was cute. It didn't go anywhere, so it didn't really bother me. Was it
so unnecessary? Why do two characters have to, why can't a man and a woman working together not have that happen, right? Like, unless in the book they have a relationship, I don't know, but to me, I was like, really? Come on, they're having a serious work conversation about people who were killed, and then like because they lean near, it bothered me. It just seemed a little unnecessary to me.
Okay, fair.
Well, of course, then again, it's Ben Barnes, and like, would I do the same? Would I try to lean in? Sure, I would, right?
Yeah, right. We know. No, you're right. Yeah, it was unnecessary, but I thought it was cute. I don't know.
I kind of wonder, Jamie, if you go back to the yearbook picture, there's a discussion about Notre Pan is our bread, and you do spell bread, P-A-I-N, French, right? It's pen, it's spelled like that, like au bon pain, right? But I kind of wondered if it wasn't French, if it was Notre, if it really means pain, like our pain. It was an inside joke that people don't get, but it's spelled P-A-I-N. Could it be pain? Could it be our pain?
Yeah, maybe.
We don't really know what that means, maybe. So I don't know. I just was wondering, like I was kind of, so ultimately I was kind of surprised that this was coming back. Like so we heard about the Red Stairs and the people who drowned, and that, like, I get it that we couldn't have had a huge, like, such a big thing where Annie is like talking in the street about these kids who died in the Red Stairs. It seems so unrelated. And then it came back again in this episode. And this is one part that I really don't get how this figures in at all. I have no theories about how these kids who drowned in the river figure in. Because they weren't missing for 2 weeks. Like, it wasn't like, okay, they got kidnapped by the institute, they're gone for 2 weeks, they show up and they were dead. Like, they just went out one day and then drowned, right?
Yeah.
Like, or did they go to the institute and then had to be killed because they found something?
That was kind of what I wondered, if they found something. That was what I thought, but it wasn't really. I mean, as of now, we don't really know anything. It's hard to tell. But oops.
And then, like, I almost forgot this whole thing because then, like they almost kiss, and I'm like, oh my god, why are you doing this?
That's fair. Now I get you didn't like it. That's fair.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I'm the anti-shipper. Like I'm
no, I know,
I'm
I get
always irritated at like gratuitous fake stuff like that. Anyway, here we go. Here we go back to the door. Is this a dormitory? Is this a prison? Whatever it is where these kids live.
whatever it is.
Go back to juvie.
Yeah. So Luke is having, well, first he thinks a dream about Harry as he gets mad and when they come over and try to help him, and he knocks the tray away and then he smashes one of the two girls in the face with a barbell, which I'm not sure about them even having them there, but yeah. So Luke automatically gets up and he's like, something happened. They need to help them. And he wants them to go in the room.
It's like the twins are in danger. The twins are in danger. Open the door.
Tony is like not really being very helpful, but also question, as we said, why, like, are these doors, are they just allowed to go in whenever they want? Because the fact that these two young girls are in that kid's room maybe isn't makes the most sense to begin with, story-wise, that they were allowed to hang out.
Also, in like the previous scene where Tony is like dragging Harry back from his first interrogation, his first shots for dots or whatever, which he had in like the first day, which is crazy. But anyway, when he's dragging him home and he pukes on him, like Tony swipes into that room. He uses his key card to open the door and throw him in there, right? And yet, and I was like, oh, these doors are locked? Like, how do you, like, are they locked in? Is it a prison? And now the girls are in there. So I'm not really sure.
I kind of wonder if maybe after a certain time they lock, like at night, and they're allowed.
I guess because then we saw Avery hanging out with Lucas in his room after he came back from the dream box. Like they seem to be able to come and go from their rooms, except I did see Tony like swipe himself into. Maybe the kids have badges and we just don't, like, I don't know.
The other thing that I can think is maybe they're allowed to lock them and they give them like a sense of privacy, even though they're really not. They make them.
Yes, what if you're changing your clothes, right?
Yeah.
Like you need to not have people walk in. But I mean, these two girls being in this kid's room, they're friends, right? And there were two of them, and like they're only.
He seems to be a good bit older than them, though. I
guess
it depends. I think it's more the actor looks older, maybe than the character.
I don't know, but it's okay for Avery, who's like 7 or 8, to be in Luke's room, who's like 16. Because they're girls, is what's bothering you about it, right?
Yes. Which I guess you're right. It's not really any different, but yes, I'm thinking of it because they're girls. Yeah. And I also don't know how old he's supposed to be. He may not be supposed to be as old as I think he is, and they may not be as young as I think they are. So
I thought those girls were like 11 or 12 until I saw them on the swings, and I'm like, oh, so are they 9? Like, it's really hard to tell like how old these kids are, right? And they're dressed kind of weird, and so I mean, maybe what we're feeling is like any kids in rooms unsupervised is not. It reminds me of like when I was a teenager in Catholic school, and like boys and girls don't go upstairs together was like a rule in every parent's house.
Yeah,
like boys and girls do not
your room, you don't shut your door, like that kind of thing.
You don't shut your door, and they're in, but they're allowed to have booze and smokes also. So like I don't think Sigsbee cares.
You're right. They're supposed to be treated like an adult. I think they wouldn't care if they were up there doing something. That's a good point. Anyway, it's a plot point. But
anyway, he like smashes her. He is having an episode of some sort, right?
Yeah.
Like previously it was shown that he really likes these little girls, and they've kind of got him wrapped around their little finger, and the three of them are all getting along great, right? And now he's gonna like smack one of them with a barbell.
Yeah. Now I have a comment on this, and I said it last night. I mean, I don't care if he was sick from the shots for dots or whatever, and he had a seizure, whatever.
Well, that was a lie.
Well, I don't know. He may have had a seizure when he was thrown up. I don't know if he was supposed to or not, but regardless of that,
yes.
I feel like this was more a problem that it was his own fault. Like this to me more seemed like an anger management problem. Like he got mad because he had a headache or whatever, and he's like that to me wasn't necessarily their fault. It was more the fact she's trying to cover up and make everything be okay. But I don't know. To me, it seemed like he gets angry, just like how he screamed at Avery. And I feel like he was like, leave me alone.
I think that's very different. He gave Avery a little shove. He didn't slam him in the face with a barbell. I mean, I think it speaks right to the fact that like Lucas is like, Tony, he's sick. He's having a problem. And looks like, whatever, it affects people differently. Throw him in here. And I mean, I think it's a result of whatever. It's a reaction to what happened to him in the shots for dots in the testing room. I don't think it's just anger management. I think it has to do with being.
It might be, but if it
It
is,
is
I don't
it
think
is a big
they
escalation.
didn't convey it, I guess, is what I'm saying.
Yes, he came in aggressive, but it's a big escalation from how he behaved to when he first came in to like basically almost like I'm not sure that girl's alive. Like what Sigsby said is she's a sprained neck and some bruises because he had a seizure. I'm like, wait, what? He didn't like he had a full on like break there, maybe.
Yeah.
And he probably injured her a lot more than Sigsby is letting on, I think.
Well, I'm sure he hit her in the face with a weight.
And I agree with you. Why is that even in his room? I think it's more. I think it's more related to like whatever they did to him triggered this in him, right?
It could be. I just don't think it was conveyed super well. I think that they should have. I don't know.
Conveyed what? Like why it happened? That's the mystery.
Yeah, because to me, I didn't think it seemed like he was. I thought it more seemed like he was acting out, and the kid's just a brat and. Because I figure like a lot of these people, just how like they said that Nikki was like went from home to home or whatever to I feel like they likely take troubled teens because they generally take teens that aren't going to be missing or that aren't going to be missed. I think with
Lucas would totally be missed. Lucas would be missed.
Luke, because Luke was really smart and they wanted him because he was smart. But I'm saying I get the opinion that normally I'm guessing they probably take kids that nobody will miss.
I mean, I feel like we only know that about Nikki. We don't know that about Kalisha, about Avery, about George. It's only
don't.
Nikki. It's only Nikki who has really articulated. But I think you're right, Jamie. In any case where you're going to kidnap people for whatever purpose, you want to go for the people that won't be missed. I think in general, you're probably right about that. I mean, Jen says he definitely has some baggage. So what if he's bipolar and has a chemical imbalance and he reacts badly and aggressively to the shots and the testing? Yeah, bipolar or any other kind of like imbalance that they didn't know about. And he some kind of chemical imbalance and he reacts badly and aggressively to the shots and the testing. Yeah, that's kind of what I think, that the testing triggered a much more aggressive response in a person who's already a little aggressive. Or more than, I mean, he's aggressive, but he shoved Avery. He cursed a lot, but Nikki was like, he's a bully, and I got to just take down a bully. And it seemed to work, but then he has this uber aggressive moment. I don't know if we're overanalyzing it because the real point is that Luke saw it happen. Luke precogged it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing is, he's worried that he gave away his TP because he says that, he wasn't as close as even the guards and he knew it was happening. But I don't think he gave away to anybody he was precog because all they know is that they opened the door and it happened. Like he just yelled that, they were in trouble. It could have just been he read his mind that he was going to do something.
But he could tell the guards, oh, I heard them screaming, right? He can explain it away.
They're saying he's saying after that the guards were closer and they would have heard it too. But I mean, I feel like he maybe couldn't explain away that he read their minds, but I don't think that.
I think he could say, I heard it. He could say the guards are assholes and they might hear stuff and not really intervene. And maybe they just didn't hear it. Maybe somehow it went through his wall more than it went through the hallway. Like I'm just saying he could tell Sigsby, I just heard it. I heard it. I didn't sense it, right? I'm just saying, like, he could argue that. I'm not saying that you or I or anyone would believe it, but you couldn't prove it.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm just saying, right?
Like, yeah, no, you're right.
Like, saying, like, the girls are in there, they're in danger, open the door, isn't proof of being a precog. Because he could
that's what I'm saying. He could have technically read their minds, or he could have heard something. You're right.
He could have. I mean, did he read their mind? He didn't read their minds. It was precog. So I got an issue with the whole precog.
No, it was definitely precog. But I'm saying they don't know that he saw it ahead of time.
He doesn't know. They don't know he's TP. He's denying he's TP. He's supposed to be only TK. So he really should have no reason to know about it, other than maybe hearing shouting. in the room,
Yeah.
right? That's his only argument. He's still supposed to be, yes, he saw before. He absolutely saw it before it happened. We saw him see it before. He saw it like only like a minute before it happened, like right before it happened, right?
Yeah.
It's like I don't know. The whole precog thing like bothers me only because like as a person, like when we see precog, I'm like, so the future is predetermined and you can see what's going to happen. And like, we're not going to get into like all the different forms of precognition that we've seen in so many different movies and shows and whatever, right? But I don't love precognition as a power because I don't necessarily believe that everything is predestined. As a person, I have to suspend that to watch the show, right? But it's Stephen King, so I can suspend that. Sure, and Stephen King, like you can predict the future. Sure, you can.
Yeah.
But he's a PC, and so I think that places him in huge danger.
Yes, definitely. So then we have the scene with her telling them nothing happened, everything's fine. You all gotta just.
Oh my god, that might be the creepiest thing I've seen yet on the whole show.
He apologized to her, and she was okay with it because yeah, not so great.
Right? She says like, oh, he had a seizure, and it caused him to like accidentally lash out and hit Gerda, whoever. And she has a sprained neck and some bruises. And then she says, right? And then she says, anybody who says otherwise is lying, and makes them all say like, yes, Miss Sigsbee. This was like really creepy because this wasn't manipulation. This was flexing her power, right?
Yeah, this was saying you will say what I tell you to say.
Or I might have you beaten, have you killed, like, right? Like, who knows? But and this is the moment where, and she says, anybody who says otherwise is lying and should be reported. And this is a moment where I was like, oh, this is what another time where I felt like George going to report them? Like George previously in this episode, they were like, George, you believe them all the time. And now she says somebody should be reported. And I feel like if she says somebody's going to be reported, by the next 2 episodes, somebody will be reported. I just feel like George is maybe going to report them.
Oh, it could be. I guess we'll have
you guys, what do you guys think about that? Have you thought about
it? I definitely hadn't thought of that, but now that you're saying it, I can see it. What do you guys in the chat think? Do you think they can trust George?
Like the idea that they should report each other seemed to be new to me in this episode.
Yeah, I think that they're working together. I would think most of them wouldn't do that, but
you mean the kids are working together?
Yes.
I just feel like George, like we've seen him so want to believe that he can trust them and that he can like go home and whatever. And he's so like wanting to believe that. I just wonder if George might report them. I don't know. Pop it in the chat if you guys want to say exactly Karen, or are you crazy, Karen? No way.
We're exactly Jamie. No. We're sorry. I'm kind of going through fast because we are running out.
I know. Jen says, I think George is the weak link because he still believes in going home. Yeah.
I would agree.
Yeah.
All right. So we have Tim following the map that Annie had. And then we have this scene, which is obviously the big, great theory, Karen. Exactly. There. She told you.
Exactly. I'm going to get a t-shirt that says exactly. Karen plus Jen. Exactly. I'm going to wear it every week.
So basically, and this is like I said, look like
on the desk. Doesn't it look like that thing where do you ever see on TV where you go in that tank and like $1 million bills fly out and you catch as many as you can?
Yeah, or it also reminds me of the tank where they have like a magician trying to like make their way out of the water too.
Oh yeah, actually that's what I thought was going to happen. I thought they were going to drown him. When I first saw this, I thought they were going to fill it with water and drown him.
Yeah, well instead they fill it with nitrogen and take away his oxygen. Mm-hmm. So money grab, right? So the point is that they try to force him to prove he is a TP.
Because now they've gone beyond the psychic pain didn't work in the whole like Clockwork Orange room. And now they're going to try to like really like on the verge of physical death, right? And see if he will. They just want him to admit it. They don't even want him to manifest. They just want him to admit that he's a TP. It's pure torture.
The thing is they always say, I mean, that really torture doesn't work because eventually the person's going to admit whatever you want them to admit. So I don't know that. I mean, they're trying to psychologically get him to admit it, but I'm just saying, like, he would at a certain point he would say whatever they wanted him to say anyway. But
Tony even says to him, Tony says, just admit it, just say it, just admit it, right?
Yeah, they want to know that
this was kind of disturbing, right?
It is. I found this scene hard to watch. They're suffocating him over and over again, trying to make him like say that he can read his mind or whatever. And in the end, he only stops it because Tony's like flipping out, like, minute, just say it. And he's like getting too aggressive. And then even Hendrix is like, I think we need to stop.
And Hendrix is like, forget it. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, he tortures Luke and they don't get anything though. Surprisingly, that was my other question I had. I almost wondered, although he said everybody that's seen the dots, this happens, but I take it then he can control his TK too at this point. We just don't see that.
Because he didn't earlier we saw when he was emotional or in pain, like stuff flew around. I was kind of wondering if he would just be powerful enough to just destroy the machine, right? Like it's only episode 4. That has to happen in like episode 7 maybe, where he's powerful enough to be like, I destroy your machine.
But he does say he's not even TK positive, meaning he can't control it.
He says I'm not even positive yet. Yeah, he hasn't even been
probably can, and he's just hiding it. But it doesn't work because he does not give in.
Maybe he's really deep down inside a TP and he just has a little bit of TK on the side and somehow that manifests at first, right?
Maybe that could be the case too. But either way, they know he's lying, but they can't prove it.
Yeah, because he sticks to it. He never gives in. He doesn't, right?
Yeah, and they he even says later he tortured him 7 times. He choked him.
Yep.
So yeah, they eventually let him out. And then we have this, which I did not notice. Did you notice the sign? Because Scarlet
it says note your pain.
I did not notice that.
Scarlet noticed that? Oh, I wish Scarlet was here. That's what it means. When I was saying that before, and I was like, maybe it means our pain. This is what it means. These kids
I think that was their joke or whatever, their thing. I don't think it meant anything in French. I think it's just the sign. So
maybe they went inside there to get drunk or to smoke pot or whatever, and they didn't know they were, or maybe they were part of the institute and right? Wow.
I don't know. I think maybe they trespassed and they got caught. That's my guess.
But because it was in their high school yearbook, I feel like they had a shared experience, whether it was partying back there, back there, or whether it was being tested back there.
Yeah, I don't know. I figured maybe they've gone there more than once and then I don't know.
Oh, Scarlet, you are amazing.
Yeah. I did not see that. I kind of now look at it like, how did I miss it? But yeah, she picked up on that, which I did not. So good for her. So yeah, Luke we already said they let him go. So then we have this conversation where
who was creeped out when they went in this room. I was worried they were going to have sex and I was going to have to put my own eyes out.
Yeah. Sigsbee is basically like, you're trying to send him on the precog track. She gets him to admit that they were going to do that and that he was going to sell him to somebody. And
that's a huge point that we shouldn't gloss over. Like, the PC track has been set aside, right? And but they're going to put Luke on it, and
without her knowledge, it sounds like they're not allowed to do it. It's
right. And I think Charlie in the phone is not allowing them, right? They've agreed not to do it, but she says, "What were you going to do?" And they say, and Hendrix says, "We're going to send him out." Sigsbee says, "To whom?" And he says, "To the highest bidder." Right. Yeah. And this is the moment that I thought that what I thought about the Institute is totally wrong. And I thought they are not a government agency. They are a private organization that somehow has taken over this like abandoned government place. Everybody thinks they're a government. I think they are like a shadowy, independent outfit that is kidnapping kids, developing them and selling them to the highest bidder, which whether that means like to Al-Qaeda or to a billionaire who wants to use you for stock prices or someone who's used for assassin. I think they're independent rogue people that are not part of the government. I think they just somehow got this place. And that's why we see really old technology, because they took it over. And I don't know really what my theory is, but I'm working up a theory where they're a separate They're not part of the government. They're just their own evil people, like kidnapping and selling kids.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I kind of wonder. It's very, very
I
strange.
caught that about selling Luke.
But they've been told they're not allowed to do this at any rate.
They're allowed to do it by Charlie, French organization. Like they're, yeah. Anyway, that was like that to me was like the biggest part of this conversation they had. I know, Jamie, you want to wrap this up quickly, but
no, yeah, I'm just trying to. I don't want to go into our Nautilus show, but the point is she agrees that she won't tell Charlie, as you're calling him, or that she hasn't yet anyway. And he's saying, I'll quit.
Hendrix is terrified. Hendrix is terrified.
People reporting him, right? So afraid of her, yeah, and we're afraid of Charlie, one or the other. But she tells him to go ahead and move him to the back half, and he says, yeah, but he never proved he was TP. And she's like, well, he's lying. And he's like, yeah, but if he's not, we don't know what would happen. It would kill him. Something would go wrong. They'd lose him. It's not so much, I don't think they care if something happens to him. I think they care because then they don't have him to use if they kill him, because
he's a high potential subject. Yeah.
Right.
And so in the end, she says, all right, keep him here for now.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. And so is that it? Is that the end?
Yes, I think that is the end. Yeah. Oh no, there's one other thing. He says whenever they bring in, and I don't have a picture of it still, but whenever she brings in Luke, he says that he can read her mind, and it shows her taking somebody. I assume that
body, like a dead body, right? She's taking a body on a gurney,
in the recovery room. Yeah, I assume that was either Greta or Gerda, one of the two.
Oh yeah, whichever one of the twins was killed. I assume one of those twins was killed.
I assume they're killed or they're brain dead or something because he smashed them in the head. So yeah, they're not doing well at any rate.
Yeah. And they're
we'll have to wait and see.
Well, they just lost three subjects, the twins.
Yeah, because they can't really use him either now. They can't.
Who, Harry? They can't? Why not?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. Is he stable? Is he, I don't know.
I guess my question is, do they care? I guess.
Well, I don't think they want them injuring each other because, like I said, then they don't have that pre-fog or that PC or
right. And like Stackhouse said, they might be damaged. But again, they don't care about them as people, only as a commodity, maybe, right? So
right. Exactly.
So I mean, would they? So they sacrifice a twin. Would they not try to deal with? They might still try to deal with Harry, I think, because they just are. I don't know. I mean, he's obviously not going to be off the show next week. He's a variable in the juvie hall. Yeah. Anyway, wow, so much happened in this episode. We didn't really get a huge advancement, but we got so much more information that caused me to really change how I'm thinking about some of the stuff in this show. Yeah. And sorry that AJ wasn't here, but AJ, he's been really good about being quiet in this show because he knows where it's going.
Yeah.
So he was super quiet tonight.
Yes, he was extremely quiet, right?
Yep. So,
all right. Sorry, guys. I know we wrapped it up a little quick, but Scarlett and I have our Nautilus show.
We had a 2-hour show. It was great. Thank you everybody for coming and being with us tonight. Jamie, I know you got 2 minutes to just say goodnight.
I'm gonna run
and I can't wait to hear all y'all's theories next week. All y'all. Sorry, I'm talking like a Southerner. We have 4 more episodes to go. We're deep into the half of it, so we'll see where it goes from here. And Jamie, you're posting in the chat. That's the
YouTube link for the next live
for the Nautilus show.
Yeah,
I'm going to join you. I've only seen episode 1, so I'm not going to jump in with you on episode 5 tonight. But
episode 6 actually. I think I'm so confused with some of these.
All right.
I'd have to look. But sorry guys that we sort of are wrapping the end up very quickly anyway.
All right, quickly. Join us tomorrow for Fandom Access. I will not be here. Tomorrow's my birthday, and so I'm going to a concert, but AJ and Jamie will be here with Fandom Access covering all of our other shows, which include Star Trek, What else is on the show? What are we watching?
Resident Alien Revival.
And Revival. Oh my God, Resident Alien Revival are both so good this week. You guys have to come to the show tomorrow and listen to AJ and Jamie.
Yes. Yes.
Wow,
But
wow.
before that, join us in a couple minutes for Nautilus. We'll be
right.
we'll be there in a minute. And thank you for coming. And yeah, please like and subscribe. And thank you.
Night.
And yes, happy birthday to Karen. All right. Good night, guys. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye-bye.